Alright, recently, Napalm Records and Lacrimas Profundere have been issuing some new trailers and teasers of their new album, um, Antiadore, which is coming out soon. I just figured I got the promo a few days ago. I've given some of it a spin, not a lot. I've been reading a lot of comments. I've been hearing a lot of things, how the band is trying to encompass everything that they have learned and like their musical roots and everything over the past 20 years. I figured I should comment, considering that that's the case. And what I gotta say right now shouldn't really come as a shock. It's not quite their early material. No, we haven't gone from this to this. But from what I'm gathering in the trailers, we come yay close. Maybe not this close. This close, I'll say. Maybe yay. We don't really hit that mark. Now, the album actually features 12 tracks. I haven't heard the whole thing, like I said. I believe the last track on the album actually is a lot deeper, and there is one or two I came across that do have a deeper presence to them, that do sound a little more like old Lacrimas Profundere, but so far not really. I took some notes going through it for a quick first impression article, which turned into this video. So let me just go over a few things here. We still don't have Christopher Schmidt back. As far as I know, there's nothing in the press release that he is apparently on the last song. I'm hearing some people saying he's back on one of the songs. I have yet to hear the song. It's not in the press release, so I don't know if he's in it. We'll just go with that. I don't know if he's actually there. Instead, we just have more Rob Vidica. And he's not a bad vocalist, but the band has definitely gone more in an alternative rock meets him direction over the years. And that still shines through on this release. The first song I heard was My Release in Pain. It was a solid song, but it shifts right into him worship right off the bat. I mean, it's not bad. The keyboards really do make it a very strong track. Catchy, a solid effort, rather rich. The introduction has a gothic piano performance. It's actually a little misleading. I had high hopes as soon as I heard that song, but yeah, no, it wasn't early Lacrima at all, so I was really let down by that. Then there was the title track, Antiadore. It was a little more hectic, a little faster, definitely catchy. Again, it was rich thanks to the keyboard performance. There was a little more to it. I did enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed My Release in Pain. Both of those were good, though. My Release in Pain was a little more generic in the sense of him, like I said. Antiadore has a little more of a unique Lacrima touch to it, I guess you would say. Just a little. This is about right for that one. Just a little bit more. What I'm not. This one is one of them that features some deeper singing. And it sounds good, but they're so brief. And it's just like a tease. And then at the not very end, I'd say it was 2/3 in, there's a really, really bad alternative rock breakdown. I'm talking Breaking Ben style. That kind of alternative rock breakdown. The kind that you could turn on any alternative rock radio program and probably hear 10 times in 10 songs. Did not like it that much. The song itself was still decent. I have no real problems with it. And again, I like the deeper vocals when they hit. The breakdown just kind of, it didn't kill the song, but it's just really distracting. And then there's All for Nothing. It's a slower piece, more of a ballad than anything. It's nothing special at all. It is a rather generic ballad piece. But it does accentuate the bass. And that actually really does sound good. The bass is a little louder. It's got a little bit of a twang here and there. And I enjoyed the performance from that guitar a little bit more. The music itself wasn't bad. It does build the more you go into it, but again, it just sounds like a generic kind of ballad track. I wasn't too impressed. I wasn't too into it. And honestly, I don't have any intentions of going back to hear it again, not to go out of my way to hear it again, I guess I should say. Then there was Dead to Me. This one was a much heavier track, a very upbeat performance, really infectious. There's plenty of hooks in it, especially with the keyboards. They were a little more digital, I guess you would say, than trying to accentuate a gothic atmosphere, but it worked for the song. Kept my head bobbing the entire time. I actually did enjoy it. It was catchy. Um, it's one that it doesn't really stick out. There's nothing too unique to it. But if you're a fan of gothic rock or gothic metal, you will enjoy this track. And then, let's see, there was Abandon. Yeah. That actually had a really burdening start. And again, just like My Release in Pain kind of tricked me. Had some really catchy hooks afterwards, and it did remain kind of heavy. There's some additional layered harmonization to it that does kind of stick to a lower singing voice. This one I think is the closest we're going to come to early Lacrimas Profundere that we're going to come across. It definitely goes from like this to about here. I mean, the band had it right on this song. It's just not quite old Lacrima. It's not quite what I found and liked. And then this track actually introduces some shoegaze into the mix. The lead chords actually have a little shoegaze going on in them. And honestly, it sounded pretty good. I rather enjoyed it. And it actually spilled into Still in the Need. And that was another good one that I actually enjoyed. It had a nice atmosphere. And the performance itself was pretty solid, sticking more to a shoegaze track than anything. But the problem, again, was in the vocals. And I'm sorry, Rob just doesn't have that deeper range that Lacrima is known for. That basically built the band, that made them a known group in the gothic metal world. And this definitely shows it. He presents himself, again, with that hymn-esque, I really don't know what other band to refer it to. Just like a general mid-range clean singing that has more of a rock star feel to it than it does anything even remotely connected to the darker atmosphere and the shoegaze performance that's going on. So far after the 7 songs, there really isn't that much that sticks out. I still have, 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 5 more tracks I haven't gone through yet, which I'm going to hold off on until my actual review. Of them, I enjoyed My Release in Pain. Antiadore was good. Still in the Need I enjoyed, even despite the way the vocals are handled. I don't know. Dead to Me was actually really catchy. It was good. I would recommend that song more than any other one on this album, personally. Do I find it to be better than the Grandiose Nowhere? Yeah, definitely. I definitely would find this to be better than the Grandiose Nowhere so far. I'm not 100% certain how the rest of it will turn out. I had the opportunity to review that album back in 2011, I think. That did not strike me well at all. I did not enjoy it that much. Matter of fact, that was back when I had the 5-star scale going on, and I only gave it 2 out of 5. By now, I'd say it's maybe a 4 out of 10, given the new scale I'm using. There is a good amount of variety to the album, but for the most part, it does seem to try and stick with the alternative rock, not alternative rock, the mainstream gothic rock vibe that is currently going around, that has been going around since certain bands blew it up here in the U.S. Thank you, Band March era. Hate your ass. Not really. You know what I mean. You suck. Anyhow, I just wish they would kind of return back to their deeper roots. To me, this just sounds like loss, sorrow, and regret, but trying to be told as a love song. Whereas the earlier material used to be loss and sorrow on a loss and sorrow scale. It's not what we're getting anymore. It's not what we have here. It does seem like Lacrima is trying to progress themselves more into a new, not into a new sound, but they are trying to build everything together into one consistent sound that would try and appease the earlier fans with the newer fans. It's just not working out too well. Instead, the newer material is good for what it is, but the vocals and the beauty in like the gothic beauty that they're trying to create within the music is just working against them. Uh, as somebody who was first introduced to this band with the album Av N, I haven't heard the first album, I haven't heard much of the second, but back then, those days with Christopher, this group really stood out, and I really enjoyed what I heard. I went out of my way, back before I really had, before the internet was really something that I used to find new music. I went out of my way to try and get these albums. I went on Amazon once in a while. I never pirated any of the stuff or anything like that, which I really wish I did back then, but that's just my personal thing. I don't pirate music. And even to this day, I haven't heard a lot. I know Spotify has some stuff. I might go on there and check out what I missed on the first two albums. But it's just such a huge difference between Rob and Christopher as far as the performances go. And I really wish that Christopher would they would bring him back. Or they would get a vocalist that has a deeper singing voice like him, and not just this guy who sounds like Vil Valo or whatever his name is from him. I mean, it's not quite on pitch, but it's every time I listen to it, if I didn't know this was Lacrima, I honestly, the first couple songs, I would have been like, oh, this is the new Him album. I thought the last thing that came out was a best of collection. I missed something here, apparently. But no, that's not the case. Would I recommend it? Not over the earlier material. If you are a new listener to Lacrima, yeah, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it a little more than some of the earlier stuff. But if you haven't heard the earlier material, I definitely suggest going back pre-2007, because that's when Christopher left. Go back to 2007 and give some of their earlier material a spin. You'll be surprised how different they really are. And, you know, the earlier fans obviously are not going to appreciate this one, but it's definitely better than the Grandiose Nowhere. Not by that much so far. If I had to grade it on what I heard, right now I'd give it at least a 5.5. And again, that's just because I haven't heard the entire thing. I can't give it a full grade because I still have 5 more songs to go. So that's it. That's all I really had to say on the subject. I forget actually when this album's dropping, but keep an eye out. Keep checking the trailers and checking out the Napalm Records YouTube page. They're probably going to post one more. If I happen to see any audio streams going live, check out apox.net. I will definitely post the links on there, or just directly copy the embed code from the SoundCloud page. So keep an eye on that. Follow my Twitter at apochweiss, APOCHWEISS. Get updated with a lot of the news, and again, that'll just be a quick way for you, if that actually happens, where I post any songs from it, it'll post to the Twitter feed. Facebook.com/apox.net. It'll post on there as well. Everything else, I don't really keep too updated, but check it out. I might do a video review of this at some point, I don't know, but keep your eye out for at least a text review, and I'm going to shoot some questions over to him for an interview at some point in the near future.